All right, Ozark Challenge, Day 7. We're going to start off with some vocabulary words today. The first one is brickle, which sounds a lot like brittle. Coincidentally, it means the same thing. So, like for example, peanut brickle, although perhaps you've heard it called peanut brittle, it just means brittle, basically. And another one is chap. Now, chap, uh, you've probably heard it used in movies where people speak in an English accent, but at least in the Ozarks, I've only heard it used once or twice. My great grandma called me a chap one time, but it refers to kids. So a chap is a little kid. So let's move on to another funny story from Pissing in the Snow by Vance Randolph. This one's called The Old Tanner. And this one is told by William Hatton from Columbia, Missouri, July 1929. He heard of the tale in Lawrence County, Missouri, about 1905. And Vance Randolph says that in May 1950, I recollected a similar item at Eureka Springs, Arkansas, from a man who said it was a true story. One time there was an old man come to this town, and he was part Cherokee. The folks let him batch an old shanty down by the blacksmith shop, and he run a tannery. Also, I'm going to stop here for a second. So a lot of the way that a lot of the ways he recollects some of these stories in here is, it's as if it's the way people spoke it. So I think from here on out, I'm just going to go ahead and speak it as if it was being spoken by the people of the time. So I'm going to sound a little bit different when I'm saying this. Although if you're back home listening to this, I'll probably sound pretty normal. Anyways, one time there was an old man come to this town, and he was part Cherokee. The folks let him batch an old shanty down by the blacksmith shop, and he run a tannery. People used a lot of leather in them days, and that old man could make the purtiest buckskin you ever seen. He took the hair off with an ash hopper lye, and then soaked the hide in oak bark and stuff like that. So the town smart Alex used to make fun of the old tanner because they figured he didn't know much. A bunch of the boys was standing around the stove one day, and Tom Gilmore come a-walking in. "Can you tan the hide with hair on it?" says he. The old man just nodded and said his head. "Well," says Tom, "I got a piece of skin at home that ain't no bigger than your hand, and I've been a-working it for 20 years, and it still ain't what you'd call leather." So I want you to think about that. Piece of hide about the size of your hand, got fur, and he's been working on it for 20 years. It took me a minute to figure this one out, actually. The boys all grinned, but the old man just stared at Tom Gilmore. "You fetch that skin down here," says he, "and leave it all night. I'll tan it easy enough, and I won't charge you a cent." Tom looked kind of set back when he heard that, but the old man never cracked a smile. Pretty soon Tom Gilmore walked out, and the boys all laughed like fools. It was kind of a joke around town for a long time, and everybody would laugh when they thought about what the old tanner said to Tom Gilmore. So the author's note on this was, everyone harbors the wish that they can be ready with an appropriate rejoinder when someone attempts to pull his leg and make fun of him and make him the butt of a joke. The large subsection of clever practical retorts in Thompson's motif index is an index to the quick-wittedness of the folk's mind in turning the tables on the would-be perpetrator of an embarrassing, awkward, or foolish situation. In this instance, the clever response of the old tanner puts Tom Gilmore out of countenance by implying that the old man could achieve overnight what Tom has been unable to achieve in 20 years, the sexual mastery of Tom's wife. So, replay that and listen to the story again. I think it's pretty damn clever.